Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Chinese lab crafts mutant strain with 100% kill rate in humanized mice. Surprisingly rapid death. So here's what's happening, according to this report in the New York Post. The Chinese communists are at it again, experimenting with COVID and making insanely deadly versions of it when there's no need to. And now they're doing things that have a 100% kill rate. And the way you die is beyond horrifying. This is what you would see in a horror movie saying there's no way that could happen. And it does. And this is with humanized mice. And I'm going to read the highlights of the story that I did for you because you got to hear this. In a Wuhan-esque study, Chinese scientists experimenting with a mutant COVID-19 strain that is 100% lethal to humanized mice. The deadly virus known as GXP2V attacks the brain, and it's engineered to reflect the genetic makeup of people, similar to people. According to a study that was shared last week, out of Beijing. It provides a unique model for understanding the pathogenic mechanisms of SARS-CoV-2 related viruses, the Chinese authors say. A coronavirus cousin, which is what this is, was reportedly discovered in Malaysian pangolins in 2017, 3 years before the pandemic. What is a pangolin? Is a scaly anteater. All the mice that were infected with the virus died within just 8 days. 8 days, if you get it, you're dead. Which researchers note was a surprisingly rapid death rate. It infected the lungs, bones, eyes, tracheas, and brains of the dead mice, the last of which was severe enough to ultimately cause the death of animals. In the days before their death, here you go. The mice quickly lost weight, exhibited a hunched posture, and moved extremely sluggishly. Most eerily of all, their eyes turned completely white the day before they died. You would see that in a horror movie and think there's no way that could happen. It does. When the Chinese communists experiment on COVID to make it insanely deadly. Now, I'm sitting here thinking about this when I'm reading this to you, and I'm thinking, we got to take these places out. I mean, we should just blow them up. I know, of course, you do that, you could escape a deadly virus, but we have got to do something. We have got to destroy these labs. Fill it up with cement, bury it, and destroy it. I mean, this has to happen. Because my thinking with reading this out loud as I'm doing this with you is this. They're going to make this, they're going to unleash it on us, and they're going to have a vaccine that actually does work, unlike the ones they have now. And then unleash it. I swear to you. I mean, they think they're the Xi Jinping. Well, it's not him even. It's the Communist Party, because the Communist Party of China will outlive him. In fact, they will depose him in a year or two if he doesn't actually take Taiwan. 2027 is his drop dead date, which is in 3 years, but I think it's going to be in less than that. My from all the experts I've read. And they are the Han dynasty, the Han Chinese. They believe they're the master race, they're the best, this and that, and everybody else should be subservient to them. And that's their goal, is to rule the world and take us all over and make us their subject. And I'm not exaggerating. That's who they are as far as the Chinese Communist Party. That's the party. And that's what must happen. The results don't talk about how it would affect humans. I can see nothing of vague interest that could be learned from Now, this is a professor that is, I guess, an expert in biology or this whole area of science. Quote, he says, I can see nothing of vague interest that could be learned from force infecting a weird breed of humanized mice with a random virus. Conversely, I could see how much stuff might go wrong. The preprint does not specify, the preprint of the study does not specify the biosafety level and biosafety precautions used for the research. The absence of this information, he writes, raises the concerning possibility that part or all this research, like the research at Wuhan that likely caused the COVID-19 pandemic, recklessly was performed without the minimal biosafety containment practices essential for research with potential pandemic pathogens. By the way, did you also see, it came out the other day, so many things trickle on this, but that like it was a year and 2 weeks before they were doing this research on COVID, before the outbreak happened and such. Like they had the I know what it was. They had the genetic mapping of the COVID-19 version a year and 2 weeks before they let us know. So we could have been doing stuff and working on it and stopped it before. This is all Chinese military and Chinese Communist Party and their military doings. And they did this. They killed millions of us in this country and all over the world. And Joe Biden has done nothing but, in fact, you know what's happened? A report just came out today from Fox News. The Penn Biden Center has taken several times more money in from China since in the past year or two. So the Penn Biden Center has gotten millions and millions and millions and millions more in the past year or two because he's doing what China wants him to do. He's a good little obedient servant for his masters who've made him and Hunter and his family rich. They own him. He is their B word. Continuing on, Rutgers University professor of chemistry and biology Richard H. Ebright backed up Professor Ballot's concerns in a word from the tweet I just read to you that the other professor wrote. Concur. Another professor, Dr. Gennady Glinsky, a retired prof of medicine at Stanford, wrote, "This madness must be stopped before it's too late. The 2024 study does not appear to have any ties to China's Wuhan Institute of Virology," blah, blah, blah. Okay? Meantime, so the only thing I could say to you is this. I don't have a question for you or anything, but what can you do on this? I don't see what we can do. As long as we have a president named Joe Biden in office, nothing will be done and nothing can be done. If we had a commander-in-chief like Donald J. Trump in there, I think it's possible something could be done. And I'm even not certain if he would. Now that we know a lot more, I think he would do pretty much the absolute max that somebody could do. But, they're a nuclear nation and they got 1 billion people and all sorts of stuff, so it'd be hard. But, man, I honestly think about how could our intelligence take out those labs without, if you can't blow it up, though, because then you're going to release the thing. So it's like, how do you even do this? I don't know. But somebody that makes a lot more than me, may not make a lot more than me, but somebody who knows a lot more than me knows what the answer to that is. I don't. Gosh, those allergies come back. Meanwhile, cleanup at suspicious California biolab with ties to communist China continues, Fox News reports. The EPA is cleaning up 800 containers full of chemicals left behind at a warehouse turned underground biolab with suspicious ties to China in California. It's been more than a year since the filth-ridden building surreptitiously filled with blood samples, genetically altered mice, look at this, and potentially lethal infectious agents was uncovered by a newly hired code enforcement officer who did her freaking job. Worst case scenario, somebody could have gotten really sick. They could have spread it to the community. What was in there? It was in Reedley, California. It's in Reedley, California. They found malaria, dengue fever, hepatitis, HIV, and Ebola were just some of the infectious agents found there. It could have killed tons of Americans. Nobody's been criminally charged. They got the guy that is responsible for it. They say that the government of China did fund this. Chinese Communist Party funded this illegal lab in our country, in the state of California. There was tons of blood and mice. And I'm going to skim through this for you because it's like a 3 or 4 page story. But here's what a bioterror expert and retired Captain Air Force said. The lab should set off alarm bells in Washington and beyond, calling attention to possible bad actors that could plan a mass casualty attack by legally obtaining deadly bioagents. I told you. I mean, this is it. They can do what they can destroy us and not leave their side. This guy was sent and funded by Chinese Communist Party. He's in jail, by the way, for the money who funded this was Chinese Communist Party. They know exactly what they're doing. They're planning to do God knows what to us, and they're doing it right here in our own country illegally. And Joe Biden, dude, Trump would have been nuts on this. This presents a moment flashing yellow and red lights to both law enforcement and the public health systems to figure out how they have to manage this going forward. This is by the way, she called the city manager when they discovered this in Reedley, California. She called CDC. You know what they did to her? They hung up on her in the middle of the call. Wait, ma'am, this is the Biden administration. You're calling and telling China? Screw you, click. Let them die, click. This is just unfreaking believable and disgusting. They had unlabeled, coated vials containing dangerous pathogens. This is just insane, though. So that is that. Within weeks, lab operators were able to secretly, here we go. A senior environmental scientist wrote colleagues in an email. Glad it won't be added to our workload, but not sure what'll happen to it. Within weeks, the lab operators that found out about this were able to secretly relocate the entire operation. Oh, here we go. For several years, the biolab was openly operating nearby Fresno. City workers had suspicions. They're operating under the name Universal MedTech. Those concerns were elevated October 22 when it became clear it was a move was imminent. Within weeks, lab operators were able to secretly relocate its entire operation to Reedley without permits, regulation, or permission, despite the deadly pathogens. This is sick. Who's protecting us? Not Biden. Next, speaking of Biden and such, the New York Post says Michelle Hussein Obama, the former First Lady, Mrs. Hussein Obama, some call her Michael, might be sneaking in as a Democrat candidate. A New York Post columnist said that today as well. And then you're not going to believe which Trump family member said Tucker Carlson would make a great vice president. We'll get to that next. Let's hear Don Jr.
Don, is your dad serious about Tucker Carlson? Are those rumors serious?
I would imagine. Listen, that's clearly, it would be on the table, right? I mean, they're very friendly. I think they agree on virtually all of these things. They certainly agree on stopping the never-ending wars. And so, I would love to see that happen. And, that would certainly be a contender.
Donald Jr. just said it. He would love to see that happen. He would love to see Tucker Carlson be the vice presidential nominee for Trump. He would love to see that happen. And yes, his dad is serious about Tucker. Those rumors are serious. Quote, clearly that would be on the table. Listen, I don't think Tucker should be the pick, and I don't know if he would pick it. Crazier, stranger things have happened. But you can tell me why you think Tucker would be great. Look, I think if he were somehow the vice president and they won the election, I think it would be great. But I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a terrible idea. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're floating it to mess with people. Because no matter what will happen is Trump's still going to get the nomination right now. We all know it. Everybody knows it. I'll get into that in a second. But he'll worry about the vice president and mention that when it counts for the general. Which will probably be within a month or two or three, when in a month or two or three, I don't know, a couple of months or so or later, whenever it normally is customary. Once he seals the deal, and it fits his purposes. He might know who it is already now, but I will be surprised if it's not somebody who is a reasonable choice. And I don't think Tucker's a reasonable choice, because people are like, the guys, if something happens to you, you're older and you're running for 4 years. So who's going to be the vice president matters. We might want to hire them, and you got to hire somebody that the average person out there that would vote for Trump, an average independent, who many of them want Trump now, based on the polls. So you have to have somebody that would be a reasonable pick for backup. And I don't think Tucker's reasonable, because he's not a politician. We don't have a record. And I know that doesn't matter, but come on. I have a weird feeling the man that has some would say caterpillars for eyebrows, but I think a better description is buffalo bison for eyebrows. Massive bales of hair on his forehead. Doug Burgum, the governor of North Dakota. I always lose track of which one's north and south. It doesn't matter to me because they're both the same to me. I don't know. I've never been to them. I'm not interested in going to them. I think I've been to one of them once actually, for a bachelor party. Way back when. Okay. So that's one. And the other thing is a former First Lady, Mrs. Hussein Obama, the former First Lady. New York Post columnist Cindy Adams says, don't be shocked if Mrs. Hussein Obama sneaks her way into the 2024 race. Plans are to grab Michelle for the Democrat presidency choice, making the music is Barack the orchestrating leader, she says. Biden won't debate. Obama drumbeat has gotten louder. Former First Lady recently revealed she was terrified in an interview with Donald J. Trump that he might, she's terrified Trump might win during the interview a couple weeks ago. I'm terrified about what could possibly happen because our leaders matter, Mrs. Hussein Obama said. Former President Hussein Obama has also voiced concern over Biden's poll numbers. Hussein Obama is among those on the left who fear a return of Trump to the presidency. So here's my thoughts on that. I do think, first of all, Mr. Hussein Obama already is running the country still right now. All the staffers on there are his acolytes and his former staffers. And they're the ones doing all these crazy, wild leftist things. His wildest dreams are coming true, Mr. Hussein Obama. His third and fourth term are unfolding in front of our eyes. And I think that it's quite possible that he wants to have another 8 years by having Mrs. Hussein Obama. He'll be running the country, but it'll be her at the office. It's quite possible. And here's what I will say. Why not get another term? Why not look at I guess what I'm going to make you really crap your pants. Obama could look at this and say, dude, I will be able to have 20 out of 24 years of this country. I had 8 as a president. I was down for 4 of those with Trump. And then I'm back up with 4 years of Joe. And then I'll be back up with 8 years of Mrs. Hussein Obama. Dude, this man could literally run our country for 24 years. 20 of the past 24 years. You know what I'm saying? This man could run our country for a quarter of a century. Save 4 years of Trump. This man could run our country for 25 years almost. Save 4 years for Trump. Do you understand that? That makes me think, oh gosh, this really could happen. I could see him wanting this. I totally could. Or you might think he's got way too much money and he makes way too much money still and affects a lot of culture and politics with a lot less work. What do you say? I think it is possible Mrs. Hussein Obama could run. I really do. I hate to say. It's bad. I hate to say it. Do you think Michelle Hussein Obama might end up being the Democrat candidate for president this year? And do you think Tucker Carlson will be a good pick for VP for Trump? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. We'll talk to you. Take your calls. I'll talk more about this. News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM 93.3. Make it a preset. All right, y'all. So what do you think? Do you think Mrs. Hussein Obama might end up being the Democrat candidate for president this year? And do you think Tucker Carlson would be a good pick for VP for Trump? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Oh, boy. I think it's possible. All I know is that you want to talk about she's terrified of Trump being the president again, which he has a very good chance of doing that, and I hope he does. But I'm terrified of that woman becoming president because all hell will break loose. I mean, that woman will be able to get away with so much more than her husband did and Joe Biden did. Because they'll be like, oh, she's so nice, as she destroys the country under her husband, Mr. Hussein Obama's direction. I don't know. Gosh, if she could tell us how racist we all are, every day. And how horrible this country is every day, like she did as the former First Lady, and now as like she did as the First Lady, now as she does as a former First Lady. How much of a victim she is, living in her lily white communities of Hawaii and multi-million-dollar homes in lily white Martha's Vineyard and Hawaii. right on the beach. Even though they've told you how dangerous, how much of a threat rising sea levels are, their two homes are both right on the dang sea. But they are so concerned about climate change and about the ocean level rising that they moved right on the ocean. I wonder how they could talk their way out of that paper bag. Maybe they could say oh, well, I mean, we want to live right on the ocean because we want to be able to show you. Look, we have a little marker there. We're watching it every day as we lounge on the beach with our lily white friends in our lily white neighborhoods. With people that are our servants and such. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Yeah, I think Tucker would be great, but I don't think it's realistic. I don't think it'll help us of getting the election, and I think he's perfect where he's at. I'm a huge fan. Anyway, okay, let's get into this one, too. I want to get into this. This is going to be good. This viral TikTok challenge that could get somebody killed. I want you to think about this. I'm going to describe it, and I want you to tell me if you think this person, one of these people doing this, could easily be shot. It's happening in Texas. If you could see somebody like doing these things here, doing this, get shot, and if you think it would be a clean shoot. Ready? Officer in Texas warns teens they can get shot if they participate in a TikTok trend causing distress for residents. The viral TikTok door knock challenge incidents being investigated by police. And here, police in Texas. This is in Friendswood. Do you know where Friendswood is, Producer Garrett? I think it's by Houston. Would you just Google Friendswood map, see what it is? I think it's in metropolitan Houston, is my guess. Suburban Houston. That's my guess. I think I'm right. We'll find out in a sec. Anyway, yeah? Houston? I knew it. Yeah, that's exactly where the breadbasket is for Houston. I've stayed at hotels in that area. It's a very nice area because that's where the money is. It's by Sugarland, and it's right where all the money is. So Friendswood police say they've received reports from victims of the viral TikTok door knock challenge. It encourages individuals to bang or kick doors in the middle of the night in an effort to startle residents. And I think I retweeted this on my Twitter feed. I'll have to dig down a little bit so you can hear a little bit of it because basically it's pretty easy for me to describe anyways. What they do is they take a massive, those 5-gallon water containers that are upside down at the water cooler, the huge water jug at the water cooler that's 5 gallons, it's huge. So they're taking those massive water cooler jugs, 5-gallon jug that's empty, and banging it on your door in the middle of the night and kicking on your door in the middle of the night. So they encourage individuals to bang or kick doors in the middle of the night in an effort to startle residents. Doorbell camera videos posted to the Friendswood Department's Facebook page. So it's not just one. Several of them show teens running through neighborhoods in the middle of the night, one using a 5-gallon water jug to bang on a homeowner's front door. So imagine an empty, it's obviously not a full one. Imagine an empty one held with, because that jug has a handle on it, right? So you hold it upside down, you bang, bang, you got a massive plastic empty 5-gallon storage, bang, bang, and they're kicking at the same time at like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, I'd say probably 2, 3, 4 in the morning. What would you and I do if that happened? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. My questions for you on this are, do you think, or I should say, can you see yourself shooting somebody? Could you see yourself shooting somebody who's doing this quote-unquote challenge? And do you think a shoot in this case would be a clean shoot? You're hearing people kicking on your door and banging on your door with massive, loud, it's intended to be massive, loud, and startling. Bam, bam, bam. Could you see yourself shooting somebody who's doing this, quote, challenge? And do you think a shoot in this case would be a clean shoot? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. The camera videos posted on their Facebook page of Friendwood's police show teens running through the neighborhoods doing this in the middle of the night. I would tell them to stop before they get hurt or they hurt somebody. Please don't do this. It's wrong. It's very wrong, says a 77-year-old victim, a female. It was scary. It was frightening. It was terrifying. It's not only frightening, but possibly criminal, the police told Fox News. Some of the kicks and bangs on doors are causing damage. This actually was also in Fort Bend County. Their constable says that this is not only frightening, but criminal because of the damage on the doors. This is a very dangerous game, he said. Calling it the new ding-dong ditch, says, I'm afraid a homeowner may think somebody is trying to burglarize their residence and some innocent kid can get shot or killed. And that's exactly right. In Texas, you need to know this, in Texas, if somebody is trying to get in your home by kicking the door down or by going up to the window trying to open it up, you can shoot them while they are literally trying to get in. They don't have to breach your doorway or your window away. That in Texas law, it is extremely clear. This is unequivocal. You can shoot them through the door or through the window if they're trying to break into your house, and that is exactly qualified. You're not. Your job isn't to figure out if they're playing a joke on you or not. If they're banging on your door in the middle of the night, that means they're trying to get into your house. That ain't no knock. You hear for a second, you could shoot him and kill him. And so my question is, could you see yourself doing a shooting on this challenge, on this quote-unquote challenge? Do you think a shoot in this case would be a clean shoot? 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. I'm going to give you more commentary from the police here, but also I'm going to tell you what I personally would do. And if this is a clean shoot based on what I know, you need to tell me if you would do that, if you could see yourself doing that, a shoot, and if this would be a clean shoot if you were somebody looking at this on a jury, for example. 800-288-WBAP. Also, you're going to hear a real funny video that somebody just sent me on Twitter that we're going to play. It's part of this. It's great. Perfect. That's up next. Chris Crocker, WBAP. Okay, now you need to hear this. Go ahead and bring this down now. You got to hear this. This is perfect. This came from a listener that just sent me this 20 minutes ago, Ronald M. And this is fantastic. Here we go. This fits my example of what we're talking about right here perfectly. Ready?
You mind if we ask you a quick question?
Sure, go ahead. What you got?
We're doing a survey and we're asking people, what would you do if somebody broke into your house with the intentions to rob and harm your family?
Oh, I'd call 811.
811? You mean 911?
No, 811, because I'm going to need to know where to dig a hole.
Is that great? Oh, that's great. Where do I bury this jerk? Woohoo! Isn't that great? I love that. That's brilliant. It's on my Twitter feed. I'm retweeting it right now. And a hat tip to Robert M. Very, very good, my friend. Okay, very good. Now, so the officers, so if you're just joining us, it's a viral TikTok door challenge. People are knocking, they're not knocking, they're banging on your door in the middle of the night. And it's happening a bunch in Friendswood, which is suburban Houston, and also in Fort Bend County. So I'm going to tell you right now, both in Texas, I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to happen here. I'm sure it already has happened, but it hasn't hit the news yet. Because, I mean, this is not just happening in one little area of Texas. You know what I mean? If it's on TikTok and idiots in suburban Houston are going to do it, people are going to be doing it around here too, I'm sure. One of the sheriff, a constable, I'm sorry, says this is a very dangerous game. Very dangerous game, he said again. He says it's a new take on Ding Dong Ditch. I'm afraid a homeowner may think someone's trying to burglarize their residence and some innocent kid can get shot or killed. Actually, if you're bang on that door like that, I'm not assuming you're a burglar. I'm assuming you're trying to do a home invasion. Friendswood police, where this incident detailed in this story happened on Fox News, they're in the process of identifying what appear to be teenage males who are doing kicking and banging on doors. They ask victims to come forward, especially if they've got video of the alleged crimes in the act. For this sweet 77-year-old woman who was terrorized in the middle of the night, she says she was, it'll cost $2,500 to fix pieces of her door that were cracked at the bottom of the frame. Let's talk about this in earnest. If you have $2,500 to fix pieces of your door cracked at the bottom of the frame, that's an attempted break-in. If you weren't home and you came home and you saw cracked frame at the bottom of your house that wasn't there the last time, like the day before or the night before, then you assume somebody tried to break into your house. And I'm sure there were marks on the door. If they cracked the dang frame to a $2,500 cost, I'm sure there's foot marks on there and bang marks on there. Somebody tried to bust into your house. Now, this woman was home. If that was me, I would get my dang gat and my tactical light, which are right there next to my bed when I wake up in the middle of the night if something should go down. And I would go to the door and I'd be ready to shoot and kill him. I don't think I would shoot. I would not shoot unless it continued. At that point, I'd be ready to shoot. I would be ready to shoot the moment I went out there, but I would also get on the phone immediately and have my wife call 911. I would have her call 911 while I get ready to shoot somebody and take somebody down in my own house. But I would, I tell you that just thinking about it right now, it's my heart's pounding thinking about that, how heart pounding and how terrifying it would be, and how I would immediately go into action and just stand not like 10 feet back from the threshold of that door, ready to, or probably, at the right hallway to be there so that I can protect my family and shoot and shoot them, unload on them. If that, I don't know, man. At some point, you got to start shooting. But I'd certainly be ready to. And if these idiots accidentally kick a door in, it's over. It is over. You're dead. And if you ain't dead, you're going to be having several bullets in you. Don't put this through anybody. And these people are freaking morons. They are morons. The Chinese love this. This crap ain't on their app. Their version of TikTok in China, it teaches math and reading. It doesn't do any of this. And it's a 30-minute time limit. I think a 1-hour time limit. Can't do it after that because they don't want to destroy their children's youth, their children's minds. They want to cultivate them. For us, they're telling our children to cut their wieners off and become women, or cut their boobs off and become men. And to hate their country, and that it's racist, and that Palestinians are awesome, that Hamas is awesome, and that rape and murder of Jews didn't happen, and the only person raping and murdering are Jews on Hamas. That's what the Chinese are programming us to do. That's what they want to happen to us. And it's working. Meantime, by the way, in another similar case this made me think about, listen to this. Pleasant Grove father shot and killed while protecting his family. I watched this today, and I believe I have some audio of this in here. Here, listen to this. What happened was on December 30th, a man and his wife were in their apartment with their 4-year-old son. Two people knocked on their door, just like the TikTok challenge. They were asking for help. They wanted a plunger. They forced their way into the home. One was showing a gun. I'm slamming the door on her hand. She says, I'm holding the door with all my strength that I could pull. My husband grabbed his weapon. I jumped in front of my son and protected my son. They start shooting him. My husband shot back before falling down. He said, they hit me. I'm going to die. I don't want to die here. Here's that audio from WFA TV Channel 8 today.
I'm slamming the door on his hand, and I'm holding the door with all the strength that I could pull. My husband grabbed his weapon and jumped in front of my son and protected my son, and they started shooting him.
Cardina says her husband shot back just before falling down.
He said, they hit me, I'm gonna die, I don't want to die in here.
But after being rushed to the hospital, Antero died.
You wanted what we have. You'll never have what we have, what we will continue to have. You will never take his place.
These idiots want to bang people's door in the middle of the night, get ready to get popped and dropped. All right. As far as the jury, what I would do if I really would a clean sheet, it would depend on the circumstances. But I would tend to defer with the person in the house who didn't do anything but get awakened and terrorized in the middle of the night with people banging on their door, which means home invasion is imminent, or home now imminent. It's happening.